Hello, my name is Richard Dean. I'm a retired Army Master Sergeant, and I'm putting this video together in an effort to reveal a bit more about myself beyond what I could in the confines of a resume. Now, on the web page that I created, the home page of that, I listed 3 descriptors. I use those descriptors as a way to condense my life experience into something of a soundbite. I think today that's the way we communicate. It's fewer essays and more snippets. Now, the descriptors I used were battle-tested, creative, strategic thinker. And what I want to do is just detail to you what those things mean to me. Now, in terms of being battle-tested, it's pretty straightforward. I've been to combat. And the reason why a battle-tested character is important to me is that it informs my worldview. In my mind, the battle-tested nature, it informs my way of thinking, and my thinking is informed by practice rather than theory. Think of all the times you've overheard someone detailing the efficacy of a technique, tactic, or procedure, having never conducted the procedure themselves. What they want you to believe is their theory on the procedure. Well, that way is not my way. My way is informed by practice, and it's because I've been there. I got the t-shirt. Now, the remaining 2 descriptors they're harder to express, they're certainly harder to prove. Now, in terms of being creative, I could just use a computer program and fancy this video up as a way of illustrating my creative mind. Or I could just ask you a question. What is achieved when combining the colors blue and gold? Now, the unimaginative, he might answer green, because gold is a derivative of yellow, and yellow and blue makes green. Now, the way I answered that question was academy, diversity, capacity. So what I just said was part of a commercial I created for an undergraduate institution that I attended. The institution's colors were blue and gold. And when I was asked what you get when combining it, I didn't answer green. I answered an academic institution committed to the advancement of arts, literature, science, capacity, diversity. Now, in truth, I don't have an artistic mind, but I can do well in artistic settings. Now, in my common setting, the infantry, I developed innovative techniques to defeat the enemy. Now, there is a ton of things that people don't know about warfighting. One of them is that the good guys, the friendly forces, U.S. forces included, they commonly start every fight from a disadvantage, because generally the enemy sets the time and place for the battle to occur. They are waiting for the conditions to favor them. And this is especially true in meeting engagements and in insurgencies. In an insurgency, the enemy is indistinguishable from the population by uniform because they don't wear one. You can find yourself in a situation where you're surrounded by the populace, and unbeknownst to you, a good portion of those people are enemy, and you don't recognize that until the shooting starts. So in that environment, I created innovative techniques to make that circumstance more survivable. Now, lastly is the descriptor of strategic thinking. Now, my form of strategic thinking is really informed by those first 2 descriptors. I'm a combat veteran with a creative mind. So how do I express my form of strategic thinking in roughly a minute? What I'll do is I'll contrast it to the thinking of others. Commonly, in international security, thinkers believe that strategic thinking is this high-level, long-term academic process wherein the interplay of national security interests are examined, and this interplay generally occurs between state actors. Now, that's a mouthful. And the ladies and gentlemen who believe that, they think that the conflictual nature of the system is born out of competing national interests, these high-level ideas bumping heads. Well, I don't believe that. I think that international conflict is a product of intolerable behavior. The people who think the former, that's a very high-level, top-down way of analysis. My level of analysis is from the bottom up. Those intolerable behaviors, they happen at the ground level, where the rubber and the road intersect. Now, if you were trying to reduce the conflictual nature of the international system. If you were to go into that negotiation with your national security interest uppermost in your mind, you would accomplish nothing. You would not move that needle. Because those things are so important to you, you will not throw them over. Now, if you went into that discussion conversely with intolerable behaviors in mind, you might move the needle. These behaviors, these low-level behaviors are, if you upon examination, you might find that you can forego some of them. And if you forego some, your opponent may forego some. And if you reduce the system by 4 intolerable behaviors, you've moved that needle somewhat. And I think that's the way, if you want to make the system more peaceful, that's the way to do it. That's the way, if you can get those activities to occur, those are the type of activities that will perpetuate. You will begin to make it more peaceful over time. So that's my way of strategic thinking. That's an example of it. And that is me in a nutshell. Richard Dean, battle-tested, creative, strategic thinker. It's nice meeting you.